Ring of Honor Midnight Express Reunion 2004. And I know what you're all thinking. It's what I was thinking. So I'm just going to let you guys know so you're not disappointed later. It is not Bob Holly and Bart Gunn. No, it's another version of the Midnight Express that I guess existed at some point. I don't know. News to me. But we also got Bryan Danielson and Samoa Joe going at it. We got Homicide versus Nigel McGuinness. Just a healthy amount of sexism. And we got all of the pleather shorts, the bandanas, the CTE-inducing strikes, the over-rotated flips on the concrete floors. All of the hallmarks of 2004 Ring of Honor are here for you. So strap in. It's the Apron Bump Podcast.
It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock this. Let's get started.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Apron Bump Podcast. I'm your host, the hardest part of the ring, Kyle. How is everybody doing today? Are we ready? Are we ready to be honorous inside the ring? Because we got Ring of Honor 2004 on our hands today. Midnight Express Reunion is the title of the show. And as per the title, we got some nostalgia on this show, which is may or may not be out of place in 2004 Ring of Honor. Because you got what? You got Dennis Condrey, Stan Lane, Bobby Eaton, Jim Cornette. All in the middle of your Homicides, your Bryan Danielsons, Jimmy Rave, Low Key. I mean, all of the characters. I mean, even Julius Smokes. All over this show. It's it's a wacky one. But it's a fun one. Main event, world title. Samoa Joe defending against Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson's first ever shot at the Ring of Honor title, which is insane. We'll talk more about that. We got the pure title #1 contendership on the line, Nigel McGuinness versus Homicide, which is quite a clash of styles and characters and all of the above. The Rottweilers are all over the show. We got the tag team titles on the line, scrambles. We got, just all sorts of shenanigans on this one. And it was fun discussing it with my boy John from Dirt Sheet Radio joining the program today. Check out Dirt Sheet Radio wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as live all over the place on X, YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff. I'll put all the information in the description below. John was a great guest. Loved having him on. Very entertaining guy. And it's an entertaining cast of characters they have over there at Dirt Sheet Radio, talking all the major scuttlebutt in this wacky wrestling world. And they go live all the time, so go check them out. Give them a taste. Just a little taste, a little lick, and see if you like it. I encourage you. They're good boys over there. So go check that out. Check me out at Apron Bump on all the social medias. Join the Discord. If you like this era of Ring of Honor, or you maybe you're unaware of it, you're maybe looking to hear more about it. Well, I got good news for you, hypothetical listener. I've covered every single Ring of Honor show from the very beginning up to now, all the way through 02, 03, and all the way through 04 up to this point, I believe October of 2004. So that is a lot of Ring of Honor that I've covered. It's not all been good, but it's all been entertaining to talk about. So there's a link in the description if you want to go check out all of those Ring of Honor shows, or you can just type in Ring of Honor wherever you are listening to podcasts. There's a playlist on YouTube, or you can go to apronpump.com, select the episodes tab, and select Ring of Honor, and it'll bring you to whatever episode you want to listen to. Binge away. It's a fun little time. I've had Ring of Honor alumni on some of these episodes. I've had people who are experts in Ring of Honor. I've had people who have never seen Ring of Honor from this era before. So it's a mixed bag, but it's always fun. And I think I've babbled enough. Let's get into this, baby. Ring of Honor Midnight Express Reunion 2004 with myself and John from Dirt Sheet Radio. Do you have like the classic Ring of Honor title by any chance?
I don't actually.
Or do they even sell like a replica?
I don't think they. I don't, because I think AEW would have to sell it now, and I don't think they've done it yet. Yeah, I never got to get it.
I'm actually curious. I'm gonna look that up. Ring of Honor.
It's like classic, right?
Classic world title replica, perhaps.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If
it's a reasonable price, maybe we'll throw it. I think there might be like copies. Oh, there's one.
If it's like, what's the website?
Ringside Collectibles.
Oh, that would be they used to sell them, because I'm pretty sure I got this from Ringside Collectibles.
Oh, it's out of stock. God damn it.
Okay, they would have been the ones though.
Why would have it on the site? You're just gonna tease me?
That's pretty. They're just showing off that they used to sell it.
Imagine what you could have. But yeah, it won't stop us from talking a little Midnight Express reunion. Man, did you get a chance to check out the show?
I had fun with it. I did. I watched it over the weekend. I finished it yesterday. It's good. It was. I've seen this before, but I watched it all almost in succession, because it was like years after it happened. So I was like one show at a time, like binge watching it, like before Netflix. So the little moments don't stick. So like I'm still surprised. Like Bryan popped the shit out of me with like a regular Indian deathlock that he does. I was like, shit, that shit is fucking beautiful. What the fuck?
You're like Jim Ross, and this is like a really like deep cut. But WrestleMania was at 19 against Booker T, when Jim Ross was like busting a nut over Triple H doing an Indian deathlock to Booker T. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I've never seen him put on that move before. The accuracy, God, my God. And that's you. You're like my little Jim Ross. I love it.
That's funny as hell. No, and it was definitely not that kind of Indian deathlock. It was fucking. It was a whole ass. Bryan Danielson fucking setup. Feet twisted first, that type of shit.
No way to describe it. Yeah, it's his own. He puts his own spin on everything, and then we'll dive deep into that one, I'm sure. But so you said you've seen the show before. Are you like? Were you watching? You said you watched after the fact, like all these shows.
I mean, we could probably get on. We could probably get into it on the show. I don't want to waste the material. But I'm
recording now. So
okay. Yeah. Well, I mean. Yeah, I started watching Ring of Honor in like 2007 or 8, and I didn't start watching with like 2007 or 8 shows. I like went on the fucking torrent site, downloaded the old 2002 pack.
Oh yeah, I got that on my hard drive as we speak, brother.
and then I went through those 12 shows, and then the 2003, and then the 4. And then I think around 7 or 8, they start getting a little bit bigger, because they have the HDNet show and some pay-per-view attempts. So like, it was like that. Like I watched it in succession, almost like people would watch a Netflix show today.
That's pretty much what I'm doing here too. So yeah, it's 02, 03 is a little.
I actually love it. I love actually 02, 03 early Ring of Honor. It's so rough and gritty, and it's so random at some points. I love it. It's a special place in my heart, that Murphy Rec Center, that dirty, gringy people.
Oh, there's just the house lighting with the dumb basketball hoop in the background.
Yeah. Everything about the way they were putting it together was just like a classic, like a regular indie show. Because like it wasn't Ring of Honor yet. Like it wasn't like Ring of Honor yet. It was like an actual, just an indie show. It just had really good wrestling on it when it was good. But then you also had like students who would come in and fucking break their leg doing a dive.
Fucking what was his name? Chris Devine? Was that his name? Yeah. Oh man, Quiet Storm, SAT, Bryan XL, G Willikers, man. It's a
don't meet those guys in real life.
Yeah, there's a couple of people on this show I wouldn't want to meet, but that's what you get when you watch 2004 wrestling of any company.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But I think we're safe with the Midnight Express, right? I think they're all chill dudes, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing anything about them, but like people from that era, the way they lived their life, I think any one moment you could just snatch out, and if it came
Yeah,
out today, it'd be like it'd be curtains, you know,
dude.
like
I'm also watching PWG in this era, like along with this. And man, if I wanted to get Excalibur off of TV, I could. I could. His commentary, I mean, him or Adam
you
Pearce or whew, even
every
AJ
once in a
Styles.
while, every once in a while, one of those clips comes out, and people are like, "Oh my god!" And I'm just like laughing because I'm
Yeah.
desensitized to them saying these things because of how, like you said, look at how they were back then.
Yeah. It was the times. It was the times. But speaking of the times, we got the Midnight Express here on this show, as per the title, Midnight Express Reunion. The show opens up with a little clip of their signing before the show. All the fans are lined up. Are you a Midnight Express? They're a little bit before my time, so I
A
can't say
little,
that I gave much of a shit about any of their involvement on this show. But like, what are your
yeah.
thoughts on them?
I don't want to seem like disrespectful. Like I guess but I definitely haven't seen much Midnight Express, like matches. Like I haven't gone that far back in my watching yet. I'm not saying
Same.
it's never gonna happen. I just haven't had the time yet. We might get
Mhm.
there, and I might look back on this moment and be like, "Oh, I said that publicly," but I just I don't. I'm with you where I was like, yeah, I appreciate what's happening here, but I'm not connected to it right now.
Yeah, I'm more of a bullet or what was it, Bodacious Bob? What was the new Midnight Express? It was Bodacious Bob and Bart.
Oh,
Oh,
fucking Bart, not Bart Gunn, right?
it was
Yeah,
Bart
Bart
Gunn, but
Gunn.
he had like some dumb adjective in front of his name. Hold on, I guess I gotta look it up. It's gonna bother me. New
Not
Midnight
bombastic.
Bombastic. That's
Bombastic
my
Bob.
guy right there. Bombastic Bob, Bodacious Bart. That's my Midnight Express, personally. They
I
should have
would
had a
I
better.
wouldn't say that so proudly.
No, big new Midnight Express guy right here. If they had merch, I'd buy it. But, anyways, we'll touch more on the old Midnights later. But we open up the show here. First match, we got the tag team titles on the line. The champions, the Havana Pitbulls, team of Ricky Reyes and Rocky Romero, defending against Special K. Quick, how many Special K members can you name without looking at any list or anything?
uh Izzy and Angel Dust because they were on the show tonight,
Okay,
and and I
you
couldn't
got it.
name any of the others. There were a lot when they first started. There were like 4 or 5. I remember they used to come on and do like the raves.
There's Bryan XL, there's Cheech, Cloudy, Dixie,
How,
Hijinks, Hydro,
how did I
Izzy.
forget Cheech and Cloudy? Oh my god.
I mean, come on. Abyss was in there for a second for some reason. I mean, Mikey Whipwreck was a part of it for a night. Slim J, who I think is still going at it,
He is. He
um,
is.
among
They
others.
they had an interesting little angle going on here where they were like trying to get off drugs, but they were addicted to women instead.
It's the worst drug of them all, some may say.
I like as soon as the match starts, there's a moment where Julius Smokes just screams across the arena, and I can't even repeat it because I'm not sure that he's like, Kathy, I want to suck your dick," and he's like, "Oh, Julius, oh, definitely 2004."
Dude, it was so quiet in the arena because it was just like we're in the beginning stages of a matches, not a lot of sound going on, and it's just, hey Becky, let me suck them titties
Yeah,
for no reason.
exactly. Commentary was if commentary wasn't really good either. Like one of the guys, I know not that commentary wasn't good. Fucking Prazak is great, but the other guy was trying to do like a heel thing.
Well, there was Gabe Sapolsky who was the main
It was
guy.
Gabe. Gabe.
Yeah.
Fuck, I thought it was Dave Prazak. It's still
Prazak's
Gabe.
not there yet. It's Gabe who's going by Jimmy Bauer, I think, and then you got Mark Nolte, who's the other guy.
Mark Nolte was trying to do like a heel thing, and he was just like shitting on the women, and I was like, damn, that's kind of that wouldn't fly today. But
Yeah. He was
it was in
pissing me
like
off
it was
all
fun.
night.
It was fun. It was he?
Just he talked like this. This is the only inflection, no matter whether it's the opening match or if it's the climax of the main event. He only talked like this. There's no urgency, just meandering. Just get to the point, Mark.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He doesn't last long though.
Thank God. Hope he dies.
Oh, shit.
Just kidding. He's probably a nice guy. But speaking of dying, you can die by homicide. Speaking of homicide, he's a member of the Rottweilers, which the Havana Pitbulls, or I mean, it took a long time to get there, but so Ricky Reyes, Rocky Romero, relatively new champions at this point, members of the Rottweilers, which is also Homicide, Low Key, and Julius Smokes. What are your thoughts on Julius Smokes? Is he? I don't know. What's your vibe on him?
I like managers. You know, like he's loud. He gets people involved. He's always screaming. I met him when I was like training to be a wrestler. He was a good guy. He taught me to he didn't teach me anything. He was like, get in the ring with me, and he just made me have a match with him once. It was really he was cool. I almost feel like him and Homicide should have stood and act just because. I mean, they broke up and they went their separate ways, and now Julius Smokes doesn't do anything, and Homicide just recently retired. But I felt like they could have got more juice out of being one thing.
Maybe. Hey, if Nana's still going at it, might as well bring Julius Smokes.
That's exactly what gave me the thought when Nana started getting back on TV, and I was like, why isn't Julius Smokes? You know, like why isn't he doing anything? I know Homicide was a little more towards the end of his career with his body or whatever, but it just when I saw Prince Nana, I started thinking, man, wasn't Julius Smokes doing anything?
Like, who would you throw Julius Smokes with today?
Today? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I have to think on that. I'd have to see what I have to take in Julius Smokes the way I see him on this 2004 show, because I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how he actually is today. But if I could somehow snatch him out of time and put him with someone today, it'd probably be like one of the girl acts. Because I feel like he brings a lot of charisma to something. I don't want to bring him to something that doesn't need it. You know, like, there's a lot of people that don't need him right now, but there's a lot of girl acts that are kind of that they're really good wrestlers, but they need something more, and nobody ever seems to give them the manager, the loud guy. You know, I feel like I would do something like that with Julius Smokes, like a Queen Aminata or something like that.
Ooh, I like that. Or like just like Serena Deeb or something. Like something doesn't make any sense.
I like that a lot more.
Here's Serena Deeb, the professor. I don't know. We'll see. But as far as this match here, it was a solid match. Nothing that really blew my pants off, but it was good stuff. You know, serious Special K, like you mentioned, they're trying to be taken more seriously, trying to get off the gas or whatever, and they were pretty good underdogs. Yeah, I've grown to love Special K the more I watch this. Like all chronologically, and I think them and the Havana Pitbulls, I thought their styles were a good yin and yang. I thought it was pretty fun. What about you?
I agree. I thought coming back, I haven't watched a classic Ring of Honor show in so many years. I mean, like over a decade. So coming back to this, I feel like the wrestling style is a lot more. It's a lot more rough, a lot more rugged. I enjoy it a lot more than today's cleaner video game-esque style. And I was like, damn, this is real good. So I know like the match was just okay, but I was really fucking digging it. Like I was really into it as compared to the stuff I was just watching yesterday for like work purposes. You know, like
yeah. No, I agree. There's something to like when it's a little imperfect that makes it feel legit, that makes it feel genuine. And I feel like And I've said this before about like the TNA X division and like the mid late 2000s. Like I feel like that's like the sweet spot for like this style of wrestling where it's like pretty acrobatic, but it's also like it just feels real and it feels like authentic and
Yep.
believable. I mean Rocky Romero and Ricky, some of these kicks they're throwing look stiff as hell.
I
Then
mean,
you have the
even Special K, I think Izzy hit like a backflip kick, but he actually kicked Rocky right
yeah.
in the jaw. And I was like, today that would have been a whoosh, and we would have all just been okay with it. You know,
Yeah.
like, but Gabe, there was one thing that I thought was really funny that I always had thought was really funny. Gabe just pushing the idea that it's they were on drugs while they were wrestling. You have to understand. They were on drugs while they were wrestling. And now that they're sober, they're supposed to be better. Right? I thought that was the thing. But they didn't they did they ever oh gosh, I knocked my camera. Did they ever actually win the tag titles?
They did for a second. I think they were on drugs when they won them, so maybe
You
they need
see,
to go
that
back on.
breaks the whole story.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, doesn't it? And now we got this whole. Well, by the way, I mean, I guess whatever. The hand of Hannah Pitbulls, they end up winning. They retain their titles with like a pendulum backbreaker knee drop onto Angel Dust. And the story here really is that there's like a special case civil war because there's all the different girls involved in the group. One of them, I think, is Izzy's girlfriend, right? Do I have that right? I can't remember.
Lacey?
Lacey,
Not
yes.
yeah, Lacey. Yep.
Because she like only cares about Izzy, and whenever they lose, she blames the other guys, and then like there's a Special K. There's like a split between there's Special K and Special K Wolfpack or whatever the hell. So I don't know. It's all just a blur. Yeah.
You would think Special K and then something like cocaine themed, just because the powder.
Ooh.
Nobody thinks anything through anymore.
Well, see, they already named like because you already got Angel Dust and you got like the other guys. There's probably already like a booger sugar in there or something. I don't know. Missed opportunity though. I agree. Anything else about that match catch your eye or was notable to you?
The first of many Julius Smokes appearances tonight. All night.
He's all over the place. All over the place. Some may say too much, but we'll see, I guess. But we move on from that to a 4-corner survival match. Jimmy Rave versus Trent Acid versus BJ Whitmer versus Josh Daniels. Man, holy,
it's kind of sad.
Yeah, this
I was like, damn, this is really sad. Half of the wrestlers in this match are now no longer with us. Like shit. And I'm not even sure about the third guy, honestly. I only know that BJ Whitmer's alive.
But even he's alive, but maybe he shouldn't be. I don't know. Maybe it'd be better if he was. That's fucked up. But, yeah, he's not a good guy. Not a great dude.
Not at all.
Josh Daniels doesn't even have a Wikipedia, so who the hell knows? But yeah, it's pretty
Allison Danger was trying to warn us.
She was right all along. We should have listened. Dan Moff too, like she was. I mean, she was definitely right. But yeah, so by the way, it cuts like right to the match. It's like almost like too abrupt. Like the last match ends and it's just like boom, ding, 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 no entrances, no whatever the hell. I guess for time constraints, they can only fit so much on the DVD or whatever. But yeah, man. I mean, any of these 4 in particular like stick out to you at all among this chaotic kind of match?
It was like you said, chaos. They were all over the place. I would argue there was really like no structure. It's like no structure at all. But I'm mostly distracted by Jimmy Rave and Trent Acid just watching the ghosts of them on my TV like this.
Having all their limbs.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's tough.
So
Jimmy Rave here. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it was like exactly what you would get in the second match of a Ring of Honor show in 2004.
Yeah, it was kind of their hallmark at this point. And So Jimmy Rave at this point, they're not calling him the crown jewel of the embassy yet, but that's pretty much what he is. He's Prince Nana's boy, and everybody else is just, whatever, cannon fodder. You got Trent Acid, who's dubbed himself the king of the multi-man match. So he's been like winning a lot of these like scrambly type of matches. Not this one, I don't think, right? Yeah, not this one. And then Josh Daniels is here. So, but I don't know if you noticed this watching this show. It feels like everybody wants to be Chris Benoit in 2004. Not to add to the morbid nature of this, but
a lot of that same twist into a German suplex, slide
the long
under
tights, the short hair, the chops, the physique.
It was 2004. It was 2004, and the indies tend to be like that even today. Like you'll see something or someone on TV, and that one thing that they do just kind of drips all the way down.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. And then BJ Whitmer's here, so him and Dan Moff have broken off from the Prophecy, but Allison Danger is trying to get them to rejoin, and/or is trying to make their lives hell. So she comes out. Dan Moff's not here, by the way, tonight for whatever reason. I think he's injured. I think this
injured, yeah,
shoulder injury or something. So Allison comes out to just psychotically scream at BJ during the whole match. And Jimmy Rave ends up getting the win here by hitting the Rave Clash onto Trent Acid, the move that he invented. So Jimmy Rave gets the win here. What do you think about that?
I thought the match was chaotic. Jimmy Rave getting the win makes sense in hindsight, considering what they were gonna do, building him into the crown jewel. Mm-hmm. The post match was funny as hell to me. I was more interested in Allison Danger just hilariously offering up her body. He's like, hey, please kill this man
on her knees. I'll do anything.
And like you said, the second commentary dude, whose name I just do not remember, fucking with the monotone,
Mark Nolte.
She's offering to pay, and she's like screaming at us that she wants to get this guy a blowjob in exchange for murder, and that's how he was selling it to us. And I just thought that was funny as hell. Just the juxtaposition of this commentary and the action that's happening in front of us right now.
He's talking about like 1950s wrestling in another match, but here he's like, oh, the fellatio for murder. That's interesting. What do we think about that? Let's see how this pans out.
It's a golf thing.
I don't know. But yeah, so she, like you mentioned, begs the embassy to kill BJ Whitmer, but they decide not to, so they leave. But then the Carnage crew comes out. They have more of a willingness to do that, I guess.
They want the blowjob. Understandable.
I mean, they don't like their fat wives, according to them, so they're all about it. But more than the blowjobs, though, I think they're more pissed at Moff and Whitmer, because at the last show, Mick Foley made an appearance and dubbed ROH Ring of Hardcore. And he kind of dubbed BJ and Moff as like the flag bearers of that. And the Carnage crew took offense to that, kind of justified, I guess. And what did they do? They stick BJ in a trash can and beat the hell out of him with aluminum baseball bats.
They were swinging the shit out of those bats.
So
and
loud.
I'm like, I know he's in the trash can, but because they can't afford a fake trash can, they're actually just creating little points inside of the fucking can. And BJ's trying to turn around and give them a new part of the garbage can, but he can't. So he's just catching these fucking points inside the can. Great. Classic. I love it.
What he gets. It's what he gets for talking to Mick Foley, I guess. But so I guess we got a little feud brewing there with the Carnage crew and the former Prophecy. So more on that later, I guess. But after that, we got Jay Lethal versus Low Key. Got a singles match finally on our hands here. I'm fascinated by the aesthetics here of both guys. We got Jay Lethal with the Samoa Joe trunks, like just literally his trunks. Well, not literally. I mean, they're smaller, I would imagine, but because he's like his protege at this point, so he's got the whatever the split colors. And then Low Key. Do you remember what Low Key was wearing in this match?
It's like like cargo pants or something.
Yeah, with like one leg pulled up. Like, it was very 2004.
Very low key.
Yeah, he's never really settled on a look. He's either doing this, or he's Hitman, or he's wearing regular trunks. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Or long tights. It's just honestly never nailed it down. You're right.
All over the place. But my favorite part of this was Jay Lethal's mom, I think. Shelton's, or not Shelton's, Shelton's mama. Jay Lethal's mama is ringside yelling at, but Julius Smokes is back, by the way, with Low Key. And so she's jawing with him, and then Low Key gets in her face. This is a wacky one, but ultimately I think it panned out to be a pretty good match. What'd you think about it?
It was Jay Lethal's mom. She made the whole thing for me. She was the best. I don't know if it happens every time they're out there, but it's several times where Jay Lethal's parents in Ring of Honor history have been a highlight of a Jay Lethal match.
Really?
Yeah, it's great. I love her, and I don't know if that was like his aunt or something or whoever else was there with her, but they were great. And Low Key getting in their face and her. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this was meant to be this way, honestly. And she does end up factoring into the into the match where she slaps him or whatever, and Jay Lethal gets a little bit of an advantage after that. But it's not like it factors into the finish. That's why I was like, we could have also called this on the fly. So it was fun. It was fun. I honestly don't know, and I'm glad that I don't. It's fun that way.
Oh yeah, I agree. No, it felt very organic, I guess. Because Low Key's kind of bullying Jay Lethal for a lot of this match, and then Low Key eventually gets in Lethal's mom's face, and then Lethal tries to make the save, and then or wait, what happens first? No, it's Julius Smokes is holding Lethal for Low Key to chop Lethal right in front of his mom, and then Low Key goes over and spits on her, which is a little over the line, I would say. This causes Lethal to clock Low Key in the face, knocks him into his mom, who slaps Low Key.
There we go.
Then Jay Lethal throws him in, and then he makes this whole comeback, like you mentioned. And a fun finishing stretch here. We got a bunch of counters. Lethal goes for the dragon suplex, gets countered. Low Key is going for his springboard kicks. He's ducking back and forth, but eventually Low Key hits a curb stomp onto Jay Lethal, who is on the bottom rope. So he stomps him on, literally curb stomps him on the rope, and then locks in the dragon sleeper for the tap out. Low Key gets the win here, but pretty fun match, and the crowd is super into Lethal at this point, so it's working, whatever they're doing.
I turned my head and I actually missed Low Key spitting on his mom. I thought she did it unprovoked, which made that a lot more entertaining.
I was like, you thought she was just going into business for herself.
She just slapped me. This is great.
Hey man, you can't get that close to her. She's gonna make you pay.
Is this? Oh, okay. Yeah. I realized that you're watching Ring of Honor in succession, and I was gonna ask a question, but I don't want to spoil the future of what's coming. So you have fun.
I mean, I know some things that happen. I don't think I know a lot about these guys. I know Jay gets into a feud with Joe, right? I think.
But just in particular, Low Key, the Rottweilers and Jay Lethal have like one really big moment that probably hasn't happened yet, and you'll have fun with it organically getting there.
I like the tease. I like the tease. I'm looking forward to it. But we move from that to a pure title #1 contendership match. Nigel McGuinness versus Homicide with who? Julius Smokes. God damn, I didn't know that. You're right. He's
they defended the pure championship on this day, on this card, but off camera.
Did they?
Yeah, I was looking up this show and I see that it's almost like Ring of Honor did like a convention type deal this night, where Midnight Express and Jim Cornette actually did a 2-hour question and answer, and then they had a card off camera where it's like
Oh.
CM Punk wrestled, and I want to say one of the championships was defended before the actual show started. So I was like, that was
They have
weird.
had like afternoon shows before, like before the night
Yeah.
show. So maybe it was something like that, probably. I imagine. Yeah, interesting.
I was like, what the hell is it? But it was definitely like a preliminary card. But I was like, damn, why? It was interesting that the pure title was defended, but not on the show.
I guess. I don't know. But John Walters, I guess, retained during the afternoon against whoever the hell. This match is to see who will face him for that pure title. When I think of pure wrestling, I think of Homicide. I don't know about you.
I like that. I like that. That's how he fits into this, though. It's Homicide trying to break all these rules, but also kind of being beholden to them a little bit. So he has to show a little skill. He's actually really good. He's actually a really good wrestler. At this time, he would have been. He would have started doing the hardcore stuff a couple of years back. So yeah, he wouldn't be showing that kind of stuff anymore. So it would be like a surprise if he pulls anything out to people who didn't know any better.
Right. Yeah, I mean, occasionally he'll break out a fork, but who doesn't? You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You're not gonna wrestle with a fork in your boot.
It'd be like that.
It do be like that sometimes. But man, early Nigel, he's always a treat to watch. I mean, he's one of my favorites of all time, and it's interesting watching his early days. I feel like he's just a plucky young baby face. Come on, everybody! But
it's funny because he's supposed to be, like you said, a plucky young baby face, but he's so fucking tall and long, and he generally he's supposed to be the underdog. But pause. No, he's like lengthy, like his limbs.
No, he's girthy. I hear you. He's big and long and girthy and just dripping. Yeah, I hear you.
He's supposed to be an underdog, but he's way too big in the Ring of Honor setting, in a Ring of Honor size ring. So the rise of Nigel McGuinness just always makes sense. It never feels wrong. But that's
right.
But you also have to go through the first awkward stage. It's like, look at this big, flashy, spiky-haired, made-for-TV motherfucker.
Yeah, he's WWE sized.
Yeah,
you don't notice how small everybody else is until Nigel walks in there. But no, there was some good stuff here. I mean, I don't know if there's any spots in particular that caught your attention. I love the Homicide, teasing the tope through the ropes, but then just like stepping through and hitting a double axe handle. Always a classic. Lariats, Nigel with the limb work after Homicide goes for a clothesline, but clotheslines the ring post, so Nigel attacks the shoulder. So this ended up being a pretty good match. Anything in particular stick out to you in this one?
No, just the finish, really. Nigel, I didn't see it coming. It's like Nigel, I think he takes like what submission did you have Homicide in at the time? It was like a figure four or some type of leg lock.
This submission fucking sucks that Nigel has. It's not. He would eventually have the London Dungeon, I think he called it, which is a pretty. That was a good one.
It's like
this one was so contrived. You had to get the guy's forearm and wrap your legs it's like a short arm scissors kinda, but it's like his finishing submission. So I don't know, but no, the finishing stretch here, I noted everything because it was just so fast paced and clean. So Homicide, well, first of all, he hits a top rope cutter onto Nigel and then a big lariat, which is a move that he's been finishing matches with. But Nigel kicks out at 2, so that was a big moment. Crowd reacted to that. Homicide goes for a second lariat, but Nigel counters. He catches the arm and then locks in this shitty arm submission of it. I don't know what he calls it. But then Homicide rolls through it, goes for the cop killer, but Nigel backflips, lands on his feet, leapfrogs over him, hits an arm DDT on his arm, and then locks in his submission. Homicide tries to roll out of it, but Nigel counters the counter into a roll-up of his own and gets the win. Baby, Nigel's, I mean, this is by far his biggest win so far in his run here, and as a number one contender for the pure title. So, yeah, no, the finish was awesome. It was very, in the spirit of what pure wrestling is. His wrestling outdid whatever Homicide was trying to do. So, this all worked for me for sure. But after that, so that brings us to intermission. By the way, there's not a lot of matches on this show, and I feel like some of the the back half matches are a little longer. And you also have the dumb Midnight Express stuff, but
that was actually really long. We'll get to that.
Yeah, it was somebody said too long.
I might.
But so we got the next match is going to be an 8-man tag. So during intermission, you got Gary Michael Capetto with Generation Next. This all feels like very 1990 WWF Survivor Series. Like, we got the team Ricky Steamboat and then the luscious Lex Lugers or whatever they were called back in the day.
The luscious Lex Lugers, my favorite fact.
Do you remember any of they always had a name, it
was always something, and it was generic. It's the American Connection or whatever the fuck.
Yes.
That team with the Undertaker was called. Why was he even there?
The Foreign Fanatics.
That's
the
racist.
All-American. Well, they're foreign. What do you want me to tell you? I don't know. Can't sue them for slander.
The Foreign
That was a real team, by the way. I didn't make that up. So don't yell. Don't send your hate mail to me.
No, I know.
Whatever. So we eventually get to the match, though. Elimination 8-man tag team match. We got Generation Next, of course. Alex Shelley, Austin Aries, Jack Evans, and Roderick Strong taking on Team Ricky Steamboat, I guess. He's the mascot of this team. So we got CM Punk, Ace Steel, John Walters, and Jimmy Jacobs. A lot going on here. What'd you make of all this hullabaloo?
Honestly, I had a lot of fun. With the with this match. There were some glaring problems with it, but I thought that made it more fun for me. It was just like
the referee.
The ref sucked, but also a couple of the guys had wrestled earlier in the night, so they were like CM Punk and John Walters were on the apron more than in the match, which is fine, I guess. Right. But yeah, it was messy as fuck. They did some fun, a lot of combination moves, a lot of fun combination moves or attempts at them sometimes. This was fun. It's the best way I can describe it.
I don't know if I've ever seen because we've seen double team moves, triple team moves. We got a quad team move here from Generation Next. So it's a power bomb neck breaker, back breaker with a stomp. So they have them so everybody except Jack Evans has, I think it's Walters up, and then Jack Evans comes from the top with a stomp onto his chest, and then they hit this move. It doesn't really make sense with words. I can't articulate what it is. It was hilarious to see.
It's like the most disgusting Tower of Doom you've ever seen in your life. Oh, hey,
yes.
Cameo.
Yes. What are your thoughts on Roderick Strong? She has no thoughts, I guess.
No, she
she hates him, I guess.
Doesn't like backbreakers.
Yeah, is it the wishbone during the beginning where they're all rowing the boat?
They did that. They did the wishbone, and then someone attempts to do a fucking
Jimmy Jacobs
sunset flip into the center of it and lands on somebody's back. Almost folded this man in half.
It's almost like you're not supposed to do that. It's almost like it doesn't make sense.
They were trying to create a flower or something, but it just didn't work out.
No. Speaking of contrived,
a lot of that.
Jimmy Jacobs hits a double pedigree. Now you might be thinking, how do you do that? Well, he had one in the front, one in the back. Pause. One in the front and one in the back. He does. It looked kind of clean as it could look, I guess. There's a lot.
It's like a pedigree, prettier combination deal.
Yeah,
but like it was clean, about as clean as something like that can get.
I guess. Yeah, there's a lot of just. I mean, it's a hallmark of mid 2000s indie wrestling. They're just trying shit. Let's see what sticks.
I miss it because then that's where you created and got some of the most beautiful things. There was a lot of shit that's up, but it was fun. It was fun. It was just fun.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And it's at this point where the eliminations start. So we got Austin Aries gets in the ring, hits Jimmy Jacobs in the back with a chair, with the ref is distracted with something, who knows. And then Alex Shelley hits Jacobs with a shell shock and eliminates Jimmy Jacobs. So this is the beginning of ref tomfoolery here. I don't know who this ref was, but he was not with it. He was not locked in.
It was just, this arena is so, I mean, not the arena, but it's an intimate venue. The ring is kind of small. It's a Ring of Honor show. So these things that are supposed to be happening behind the ref's back are very loud. Very obvious.
What was that?
It breaks your fucking immersion. Damn.
It's not good. But then Ace Steel hits a Widow's Peak to Jack Evans. Looks pretty gnarly. And eliminates him. So now we're back to 3-on-3. Austin Aries hits a Crucifix Bomb onto Ace Steel to eliminate him. And so now it's 3-on-2. And then it calms down a little bit. Generation Next, they take advantage of their numbers advantage. And then at some point, Roderick Strong brings in a chair into the ring once again. Punk gets in, grabs the chair from Roddy, Roddy brought it in. Punk grabs the chair, lays out Roddy with it, lays out Aries with it, drops the chair, and drop toe holds Alex Shelley onto the chair, which is all the ref saw among all of this. So CM Punk gets DQ'd because of this.
Actually, that bugged me out. I was like, damn, I didn't know using the chair in that way could actually get you disqualified.
I feel like it shouldn't.
I didn't think that it could. I feel like it's just on the floor. He how
he never touched it.
Like
as far as the ref knows.
Exactly. It could have just been there. He doesn't drop toe hold, so he's already on the other side of the fucking ring from this chair. So it's funny. It's funny that it ended up being a DQ, and Ricky Steamboat is pissed off. He's furious.
As he should be. So Punk's out of here, but you mentioned that he wrestled earlier in the day, which makes sense because it felt like Punk didn't really do anything in this match, and he didn't even take a fall. So maybe that's why he's like, oh, whatever, I'll go out there, DQ me. It is what it is.
I guess, but the Ricky Steamboat thing was another thing that made me laugh because, like you said, this drop toe hold into a chair was kind of nothing, and Ricky Steamboat is not even mad at the ref. He's freaking out at CM Punk for using this chair. This is supposed to be Ring of Honor wrestling, not hardcore garbage. But it's just a drop toe hold, old man, into a chair. Jesus Christ.
I mean, come on. What do you does Ricky Steamboat never used a chair in his career? Come on now, Ricky. Come on. Which we didn't even mention. I forgot to mention in the beginning. So they all come out for their entrances. And Ricky grabs the mic and shits all over Mick Foley for calling this Ring of Hardcore. We're not just garbage stuntmen, which is a reference. I think so. Ric Flair and Mick Foley had beef during this point. I think Rick wrote about Foley in his book, calling him a stuntman or something like that. And then Foley comes and takes shots at Flair when he comes here to Ring of Honor. And then Ricky falls into this loop of, this is a Ring of Honor. There's honor in this ring. And he points to the turnbuckle. See honor? There's honor. And here's a ring. Ring of Honor. I felt like he just kept going and going. Going insane. So now it's just Austin Aries, Alex Shelley and Roderick Strong versus John Walters. So it's 3-on-1 at this point. By the way, Roddy's just low blowing everybody left and right, and the ref doesn't fucking care. He's looking right at him. But
it's the atomic forearm. What's
got him in the lower sternum. This guy. Then Walters fires up, hits a double backstabber onto Austin Aries and Alex Shelley, and then 3 backstabbers in a row onto Roderick Strong to eliminate
great for
him.
the spine.
Yeah. Ironic on the Messiah the Backbreaker getting his own back broke. Folks. So now it's only 2-on-1. Roderick Strong comes back out after he's eliminated with a chair again. But this time Ricky Steamboat stops him. And Ricky Steamboat and Roddy Strong they brawl to the back after some chops in the ring from Ricky. And Walters is trying to fight back. It's 2-on-1. He counters a superplex from Austin Aries into a top rope lung blower, which looked gnarly. But Alex Shelley breaks up the pin and hits the shell shock. And then Austin Aries hits a 450 right after. And gets the 1-2-3. Generation Next gets the win. Folks. It's their time.
Top rope lung blower. That's just another one of those. Let's see what the fuck we can do.
Yeah. How could this go wrong? Yeah, so no, it was a fun match. I kind of appreciated how, because when it was 3-on-1, I was like, oh, Walters is gonna come back and win, because that's like how I've been like conditioned to like watching WWE and whatever. But no, it was 2-on-1. They had more people, so they won, kind of thing. So,
yeah, you love to see logic in wrestling.
Sometimes. So Alex Shelley, Austin Aries, they're the last 2 standing. Alex Shelley grabs the mic and he calls out Samoa Joe because he wants a world title shot. Don't mind the world title match that we have after this. Don't mind that. It's Samoa Joe going to be world champion after this show, folks. Let me screaming at you into a mic. And then Austin Aries grabs the mic from Alex Shelley. He's like, oh, no, pal. I'm going to challenge Samoa Joe for the world title. We got a little bit of tension of brewing with Generation Next. Pretty saucy.
I was kind of wondering, why was this so Survivor Series-esque? Because I was like, it could just be an elimination match, but it was clearly meant to be like a reference to Survivor Series, like you said with the promo in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
And I realized the damn DVD came out in November, so they were being real cute.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
That's fun.
But no, it was good. Generation Next. It's good to see them as a tandem because they're a pretty hot act at this point, and little Jimmy Jacobs in there. Never hurt anybody, I guess. Huss. But now is the moment that we've all come to see. It's the Midnight Express reunion, folks. Their music hits, and we got Jim Cornette, followed by Dennis Condrey, Bobby Eaton, and Stan Lane. No Bob or Bart, but we just have these 4. And I don't know. It's like kind of a whole lot of nothing. It's like, hey, thanks everybody. Love you. Anything about their promos, because they all kind of had their turn to talk. Anything about like that portion of this stick out to you?
No, not really. It was about what you would think it would be, where all the old men came. And honestly, I was surprised that it went that long. I thought, oh, they're just gonna do this straight. Okay.
Yeah,
I was wrong. But
it was because, like, well, obviously Jim Cornette, like, he's the talker of the crowd. He leads it off, and then he hands it to Bobby Eaton, and Bobby's just like, "Thanks for coming, everybody." And then he hands it to Dennis Condrey, who pretty much does the same thing. And then Stan Lane, who is, I guess, is more of a talker. People listening, they're like, you don't know anything about the Midnight Express. Well, sorry. All right. I have a lot of fucking 2004 Ring of Honor to watch. Okay, I'm sorry. And so Stan Lane gets his turn to talk. He's, giving props to the as he says, the young lions backstage and the fans and all that. And Jim Cornette grabs the mic once again and gives a shout out to Big Boss Man, who he passed away like a week before this show. I forgot it was at this point that he did. So he gives him a shout out, which is cool. He's like, all right, thanks everybody. And their music hits. I'm like, is this really all it's going to be? There's no run-ins. Like they're just here to say thank you and that's it. But no. We got old Prince Nana out here to confront them. Nana's like, hey, I have the embassy. You have the Midnight Express, Cornette. Both on the same plane, right? Both of equal stature in the eyes of wrestling fans. We're both well respected. And Cornette's like, what does Cornette say? He makes some weird like metaphor.
Man, I don't remember it off the top of my head.
I think I noted it. So, he said, "You're about as phony as a get well card from an Undertaker." That's a good line, right? Good line. So Nana says, he's not getting the respect that he gave the Midnight Express. So Nana says, I have a new member of the embassy, Jim. It's a member of the real Express. Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express comes out.
I thought that was hilarious. I just didn't see that coming at all.
I did not either.
It's like, what the fuck?
You really never know. It's really a mixed bag with this era of Ring of Honor. It could be Mick Foley. It could be Too Cold Scorpio. You never know. So Ricky Morton comes out and he's like, yeah, the embassy is the future of wrestling, not you guys. They've been disrespected just like the Rock and Roll Express has been disrespected. Why does the Midnight Express get a night of appreciation and we don't? We won more tag titles than you guys did. Or whatever, which is valid, right? I guess.
It's math. You can't argue with math.
And Cornette's like, we get a night of appreciation because we had the goddamn common sense to retire in the first place. Which is hilarious considering the Rock and Roll Express are still wrestling 20 years later. After this point, he felt old here. 20 years later, he's still wrestling. Crazy. And then there's a brouhaha. A fracas ensues. Everybody's fighting each other. The Midnight Express, they eventually just shit all over everybody, including Jim Cornette. I mean, the Ricky runs away at some point. Jimmy Rave gets hit with a racket, I think. The Outcast Killers, they just get their asses kicked. The Midnights do their tandem, like the high-low and was the rocket launcher off the top rope, or whatever they call it. And Jim Cornette with a racket to Nana's balls. So, sending the crowd home happy, right?
But not too happy. I don't think anybody cares about Nana's balls that much.
Speak for yourself, fella. Come on. That is a good point. Do you think the Ring of Honor crowd, like, I mean, obviously they were respectful here, but like, do you think like bringing in the Midnight Express is like, it feels like that's not what the Ring of Honor crowd is looking for, that nostalgia.
Like I said, like I was mentioning earlier, in looking at the way this event was set up, it's interesting because I think they sold the Midnight Express reunion as a thing first. I think you would have had a crowd full of people that came to see the Midnight Express and go to that 2-hour question and answer thing that happened earlier in the day. So I think a lot of them were kind of excited and maybe even bored with the wrestling, waiting to see the Midnight Express again. Like you do this stuff. Do just the classics, just hit their greatest hits or whatever. Actually, I hadn't thought of that beforehand, so that might explain some of the lack of reaction for some things.
Do you think that carried over into the main event? That boredom, maybe?
I think with this era of Ring of Honor, and especially going forward, as you go forward in Ring of Honor, you will see that these crowds are going to learn ROH's long main event style. These shows are gonna get longer, my friend. These shows are gonna get longer. I thought when I saw the 3-hour runtime on this one, I was like, oh, that's fine. That's okay. I saw 2000 early 2000 Ring of Honor, and I was like, damn, this might be a long afternoon. But this crowd, I don't think the Ring of Honor, I don't think any of the Ring of Honor crowds were conditioned for that 40-minute main event after an entire day of wrestling. Yet it was still too early.
Yeah, I don't know. Cause I'm we're at the main event here. The Ring of Honor World Titles on the line. Samoa Joe defending against Bryan Danielson. Now you see that on paper, it's like, hell yeah, man, this is gonna be awesome. And I'm not gonna say it wasn't good. Personally, it just didn't grip me for whatever reason.
Really?
Maybe I made the mistake.
Love this shit.
I watched this last night, maybe too late, and I was having trouble focusing on like the first, I don't know, 30 minutes of this match. Where I mean, it's a Bryan Danielson match. He's going to be doing the limb work. He's attacking the legs. Maybe I need to watch this match again. It kicked in at the end for sure. It was back and forth. I don't know.
It was definitely a lot of Bryan beating the shit out of Samoa Joe. I think that was something they wanted to get across very well. Bryan is going to take 90% of this match, and Samoa Joe is going to fight from the bottom, which is which is interesting considering their statures. And how far into Samoa Joe's reign are we right now?
We're getting there. We're almost at the end. We're like 17 months or something like that.
How many times has he had to fight from the bottom?
Pretty much never.
Yeah, that's like, it was really like, oh, that's interesting. Bryan, they played it like Bryan is just completely aware of all of Samoa Joe's tricks. Samoa Joe tries to go for the ole kick, Bryan's out of the way. Anything Samoa Joe tried to do, Bryan was able to counter it and just beat the shit out of him. And I was like, it's an interesting story we're telling here with this. That was great. That was taken.
Yeah, no, there was some good, like you said, the ole kicks. Danielson, he catches the kick and throws his ankle into the barricade and then does one of his own, like a drop kick style ole kick. So there's some good stuff here. By the way, something that blew my mind is this is Bryan Danielson's first shot at the Ring of Honor title ever. And we're almost 3 years into Ring of Honor. It's crazy. He was on the first show ever. And now he's been in Japan a lot and Europe and stuff. So like 2003, it felt like he maybe appeared like once or twice. But still just crazy that we're almost in 2005 and he's just getting his first shot at the title. So
yeah, I was gonna say, I just, like you mentioned, I think it was a combination of him not being available and also not, well, if I remember correctly, because I read the book a long time ago, but I just remember him not wanting that position at the time.
Yeah.
Which is, if you know Bryan Danielson, tends to be the story of his life. I don't think
just
I
accept the title, Danielson. Jeez.
We need you right now. Could you please hold on to this?
So yeah, then we got Danielson, you know, he's like you mentioned, he's countering all of Joe's tricks. Whenever Joe gets like a moment of offense in, like there's one moment where Joe's like chasing after him like a bear, like he's throwing his kicks and he's punching, and Bryan's just running away like in circles. It was just hilarious. Man, it's kind of back and forth for a while. You got Joe throws out like a really subtle GTS, which is like, it's not a finishing move. It felt like just like kind of a transition. He did it like to his ribs, but like that kind of offense, man, it looked brutal when Joe did it. Danielson, he fights back. It's a flying headbutt. Then we got Joe eventually connecting with the ole kicks against the barricade. And then we got Danielson busting out all of his crazy submissions. You mentioned that like Indian deathlock, like bridging back though, like backwards, like
yeah. It's like that era's, like we mentioned a couple of times earlier, that let's see what works stuff, except it's Bryan Danielson. So every time he says let's see what works, it works. And it
Yeah.
looks like some shit you've never seen before. You probably never will see it again because he came up with it in that moment at that time. And there's a lot of that in this match, especially like you said, once he got into the submission stuff, particularly that damn Deathlock. That damn Deathlock is just stuck in my mind. I think I recorded
Gnarly.
it and sent it to my group chat. Like, look at this sick motherfucker. That's why he's the GOAT.
Is this sex? I don't know. It could be.
There was a moment where Joe gets him in a cross armbar, and Bryan is able to reverse that into a regalplex. Just dumps Joe on his fucking noggin. It was incredible, man.
I don't understand how he just snapped it off like that.
the thud of Joe's not just brain fucking in that
I guess he's top heavy. Yeah, he just like whoosh.
Pop.
That's Samoan head of his.
I had fun. I had a good time with this main event. I think it's a bit of a criticism for, like I said, I'm not trying to spoil Ring of Honor for you, but as the main events get longer, some people start having the criticism that the first half is like because you know it's gonna go 40 minutes. But I think after just years of watching, you gotta condition yourself to watch it differently. If you know it's gonna be that long, you can't go into it being like, "Fuck, here we go, the first 15 minutes." Just try to have fun with it.
Yeah. You can tell just like the way they pace like that early part of the match. You're like, oh, this is gonna be a long one. This is gonna be a long one. But I mean, they're able to make those long matches. I mean, the first Punk Joe match, 60 minutes, but it was engaging the entire time. Danielson and Austin Aries right before this just had a 75-minute match.
75 minutes. Bro.
75.
This is the peak of self-indulgence.
For no reason. Austin Aries he wasn't even built up at this point.
He just wanted to do it because God, I miss this Ring of Honor so much.
I love the thought they just have long matches just to self-suck themselves. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna love it.
It's the absolute truth, man. But I loved
it. Joe Punk 2 is right after this too, and who else? I don't know. God knows what else. But this match continues. This match is still going, everybody. For anyone unfamiliar, Joe, it's a top rope German suplex and then a lariat 2 count. It's like at this point you could feel like the grueling nature of this match. Joe goes for the muscle buster. Bryan counters it into a dragon suplex right into the cattle mutilation. Joe has to really have a seizure to try to find the ropes with his feet. And then Bryan, what does Bryan do? Oh yeah, Bryan hits the ropes, comes back. Joe with a running knee right to the ribs of Bryan, who he's been pretty much working on that midsection the entire match. And then just a barrage of knees. I mean, just good, like MMA style. Just like something you'd see in Pride or something. Just knee after knee. And then he just kind of falls into the choke. Like he doesn't really set it up. He just knee. Oh, I gotcha. And then Bryan taps out. So Joe wins. He retains, but you definitely got the sense that he just barely survived this one. So there's a little bit of a post-match thing here, but yeah, no, I think the match is good.
That post match was a clusterfuck of shit. But the match itself, I think, like you said, if you were getting late into Samoa Joe's reign, then people might have started to think this was it. As it got longer and longer, this might be the one. Bryan tapping that choke like that, I think caught some people by surprise based on the reaction of that crowd.
Yeah, because Bryan's heating up at this point. You know, we're not at final countdown yet, We're not at his he has the goofy Jedi jacket still. He's just trying stuff. I don't know if I agree with it. We're almost there. We're almost at peak Bryan. Almost. But Bryan and Joe, they shake hands. Then CM Punk's music hits. CM Punk comes out, grabs the mic, says that Samoa Joe, I'm the only guy that you couldn't beat. They had a draw at their previous match, and Punk's mad that he hasn't gotten his rematch yet. And Bryan grabs the mic and he says, well, you know what, Punk, you didn't go as hard at Joe as I did, which...
That's an interesting claim, but he did beat the shit out of Samoa Joe for the better part of 40 minutes. He just lost.
Yeah.
He just lost. But he also tapped out, so he's a completely he's just completely bullshitting right now.
I would say it's better to go soft at somebody and not lose than to go hard and lose. That's just my thought. But as they're all bickering in the ring, fighting to see who gets the next title shot, Generation Next comes back out. They attack CM Punk. They've been feuding with the Second City Saints. So they attack Punk, and Joe and Danielson are just like, oh, we have no part of this. We'll just watch the beatdown, I guess. Which, all right, guys. Until Austin Aries gets in both of their faces. This is the part where just everybody has like a thing. You have to have like a whiteboard with all the strings connected to see who's involved with who. Austin Aries gets in both Joe and Danielson's faces, as Aries and Danielson had their 75-minute match. They got the history, but I believe Aries pinned Joe in like a tag match a few shows ago, if I remember correctly. I could be thinking of somebody else. Might have been Colt Cabana, but whatever. He wants a title shot, I guess, ultimately at this point. And then Homicide's music hits, throwing everybody out there. Lights go out, and then a spotlight hits the stage with Julius Smokes standing there with another version of the Ring of Honor title. It was the version they were gonna replace the one with, but they ended up not. Then Homicide stole it. Now Julius has it. It's a whole thing. And then the Rottweilers storm the ring. They join the brawl. Everybody's doing dives to the outside. Aries with the suicide dive. Homicide with the tope.
They dropped Jack Evans on his head. I was like, damn Evergreen. That is an evergreen statement that you can say for fucking from 2002 to 2004. You can say that every 2 weeks. They dropped Jack Evans on his fucking head. It was horrifying. I was like, damn it.
Oh, man. I mean, Jack, he does this like springboard 450 Phoenix splash. He's just up in the air. Yeah, these guys got me, and then they don't.
This is right through everyone's arms. Great. Just fucking, it was a cluster. I was like, this is a whole ass Monday Night Raw ending.
That's not even it, because then Low Key gets in the ring now, and then now Low Key and Joe are going at it, and then Bryan Danielson's like, hey guys, quit fighting, and then Joe elbows Bryan, and then Bryan starts attacking Joe, and then now everybody's fighting everybody. Chaos.
Explain. So you've been watching Ring of Honor from the first show up until this point.
Yep.
Have Bryan and Low Key teamed prior to this show, or shown some kind of kinship or some kind of friendship or respect for each other? So how the fuck did we get through this entire brawl with the Rottweilers and fucking Generation Next and Bryan and Joe, and somehow the results and the sum of all this is Bryan going, me and Low Key against you and Jushin Liger. What?
Because this wasn't chaotic enough. Let's add Jushin Thunder Liger to the mix.
The sum of this chaos is something just as chaotic that makes actually less sense than what just happened. But fuck, it's Jushin Liger teaming with Samoa Joe against Bryan and Low Key, and that's cool enough as it is. So we're gonna accept that shit. And they're right. We are.
I guess. And the only thing I could think, because Bryan and Low Key were involved in the first ever main event in Ring of Honor, so maybe they have that
And
kind
then
of.
the round robin challenge. And
Yes.
then the match that had Ken Shamrock as a ref.
Oh,
For some reason.
about that too. Oh, it's everybody popped in. Everybody popped in.
So that just was the funniest shit to me. Like the some of the chaos being random Jushin Liger call out, and the only reason for it is that we were told earlier in the night that Jushin Liger has been booked.
Yeah.
Wrestling, I love it.
We got some wacky shows on the horizon, I guess. But that brings Midnight Express reunion to a close. Any other nuggets on this show that we didn't talk about?
No, I think that was it. Like you said, they're already building to Joe versus Punk 2. Have fun with that. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. But yeah, man, this was a fun show. It made me want to go back and watch some more old Ring of Honor. Just like this was great.
It's a trip. It's always a trip. And something else that's always great. Another show that's always great. Dirt Sheet Radio. Hell yeah, brother. This guy got it. Appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you joining in, man. Where can everybody find you guys and listen and taste and all that stuff?
Dirt Sheet Radio. We are on social media everywhere. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Honestly, just type in Dirt Sheet Radio. We will come up. We are live every single day, almost. Live after Raw, live after NXT, live after Dynamite, live after Impact, live after SmackDown, live after pay-per-views. We also have our flagship show, Dirt Sheet Radio, where we talk about the last 7 days of professional wrestling news, rumors. You can find that everywhere podcasts are available on YouTube. Just check us out, Dirt Sheet Radio. Google it, honestly. It'll take you everywhere you need to go.
Hell yeah, man. Check them out. And yeah, I can't stop thinking about Julius Smokes and Serena Deeb. I just haven't really stopped thinking about that.
Make it happen.
I mean,
the Rockwaller 2000 Chris is coming. Can you feel it? Oh yeah!
And she just waving the flag there. Just the whole time.
Once again, thank you to John from Dirt Sheet Radio for joining the program. Great time. Definitely would love to have him back on at some points, or any of the other Dirt Sheet Radio guys. They're all entertaining blokes over there, so go check it out wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as live, all over the place. All their information, all of their information will be in the description. Check them out. Check me out. Follow me. Rate, review, like, poke, suck, tickle, and I think that is where I'll leave you. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Always appreciated for you. Always appreciated for you. That's not English. I always appreciate you guys tuning in, whether you're watching, listening, or tasting, or all of them. It'd be weird if you just watched and didn't listen. That would be kind of, that I don't think I would appreciate. That one borders on psychotic. Unless you're deaf, which I'll give you a pass, I guess. Anyways, get on out of here. Love you guys. Mwah. I'm hard.
Yeah. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started.